So I just started a new job recently, and it's one of the first jobs that I've had where I only have a 15-minute break. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, that shit kind of pissed me off, bro. It's almost like, I'm thinking of it on some like Matrix shit. Like, we're only gonna give you enough time for you to eat your little meal and come right back. Now, when I compare this to other jobs where I had, maybe two 30-minute breaks or one 30-minute break, and I compare it to my other jobs, I'm like, not only do I not want to compare it because, it's the comparison is a thief of joy, but I'm not really talking about that exact aspect. It's more so just like, damn, like, it really makes you think, like, certain jobs have pros and cons to them, right? Like, maybe at this job you liked how the people treated you, and at this job you liked the people you worked with, right? That's going to be a lot of things in life where you have pros and cons with things, but specifically with the work aspect, right? Me personally, I can't spend too much time at one job because I'll get tired of it, right? So that's why when I thought about making this video, I was like, man, I really gotta start my career up, which is me being a firefighter. That's what I wanted to do since I was a kid. So when I work certain jobs, specifically the one I had previously at a casino, you kind of see everyone come in. You see everyone living their lives, and you're kind of just like a prop. You kind of just stand at a door, or you walk around and patrol. Pretty much, you just see life pass you by, right? Everyone is walking past you. They're kind of having fun, enjoying their day. And then you look outside, and it's beautiful outside. It's a sunny day, and you're stuck inside. It's also a second shift, so you're there during the day, right? So when you leave at nighttime, everyone's already sleeping. You don't really have much to do. But what I've realized is me with myself, I was always like yearning for connections with people outside of work, so much to where I started realizing, like, what, instead of yearning for connections, I should just go on my own little self-improvement arc. Instead of fiending for all these new friends and new environments, I should just build habits for myself, start changing out bad habits for good habits, especially because the career that I want is very physically and mentally demanding. It's not just a regular job that everyone can do. You really have to be built for it. So yeah, that's just my whole topic about working. Like I said, I don't know how some people stay at a job for more than like a year plus. I don't think I've ever had a job for more than a year without getting tired of what I was doing, or people that I started with, start leaving, and then that environment, that friendly environment that you've built with the people there, starts to crumble because you build these friendships with these people, these connections, and then your crew starts dropping one by one, and now you're like, man, this job really isn't as fun as I thought it was. But back to the whole job that I have now. It's a warehouse, but it's not a warehouse that you would think. There's not like 20 million people walking around. It's more of a smaller warehouse. It's like a tight-knit group of like, I don't know, I'm still fairly new. I'd say maybe like 8 to 10 people. Now, like I said, that is a pro, and this is why I think it's a pro. It's all like a mindset thing, right? You have to be able to tell yourself, like, there's good and bad things to this. Now, the good thing is you're not really distracted. You're not, looking at the woman in the red dress, looking at pretty females all day because, there aren't any. You can't really get distracted. So that's a good thing about it. The bad thing about it is a lot of the machines force you to constantly be working them. So some machines have downtime, some machines don't have downtime. So Every human has specific things that they go through at jobs when they're working for a long period of time. And my whole dilemma was the fact that the machine I was at had no downtime on it. So, like, maybe my feet start hurting, and I'm standing on my feet start hurting, and then maybe the area that I'm in starts getting really really hot. I start sweating a lot, and then all these things combined, and then like it's a loud warehouse, I can't play music. Me specifically, I depend on music to carry me through a shift. That's probably just a new age thing. I mean, I was born in '02, so it's not really new age, I guess, but I would say, more of like a 2000s kid kind of thing. I'm not sure if '90s people feel like that the same way, but I can't work in a place and just hear workplace sounds all day long. Like, I'll literally lose my mind. Now, it did get to the one point where I had to go charge my phone, and I couldn't hear my music at all because, like I said, it was so loud. But I was still kind of just like picking up the low volume that I had. And I realized, like, sometimes you catch yourself complaining about work, and then sometimes you find yourself realizing things about work that as a human I'm just like, nah, like, I don't care if it sounds like complaining, like, that's just what I feel. And me being an open-minded person, that's one of those things where I'm like, I tell myself, like, am I complaining because I don't have music right now? And I'm like, it sounds like I'm bitching, which it might actually be that, but at the same time I'm able to stand firm on that, like, no, yes, I want music at my workplace. Because when you're just locked into work the whole time, and your feet are hurting and you're hot, maybe you're tired, you're hungry, you want to eat, all these human things, right? I'm not sure if like 40-50-year-olds go through this kind of stuff, because they're probably just conditioned to be in this hardened rock of a working man, that they're like, man, I could go through my whole shift without eating, I don't need no damn music. That's you, right? Just because that's the regular way to live, right? Maybe for somebody, people are so conformed to this idea of this is just how it is, that when thoughts like mine come in, where it's like, I want to be able to maybe have a little snack in my pocket or hear some music, someone else might look at that and their perspective is different on it. They're just like, man, this kid ain't been through no real work, man. Stop bitching and do that damn work, man. And it's just like, yeah, I could put myself in that mindset to where it's like, yo, it's work. You're not here to listen to music. You're not here to do this or that. You're here to work. Yeah, I could understand that, right? I could put myself in that in that lane of thinking. But like I said, as humans, sometimes, man, we need accommodations, all right? We need accommodations, right? So that was just pretty much why I was like, yeah, man, like, if I'm gonna be like complaining or struggling at a job, it's gonna be a job that I chose because I like it, not because, oh, I needed money, so I'm forced to go down this lane, right? That's why I said people are just so conformed to, oh, this is just how it is, man, like, just deal with it. Yeah, I'm okay with dealing with it, because that's just the world, right? Sometimes you do things you don't want to do for the greater good, right? I understand that. It's not a whole like complaining video. It's more of so like a standing firm on what you want and what you believe you need to make your mindset better about being okay with the things that you have to deal with, right? Like I said, the music gives me like a little boost, the vibes, I get to hear music in the background, so I feel better about what I'm doing, I'm vibing while I'm doing the job. But then if I'm going to be doing this job the way they want it to be at all times, at some point you're going to want accommodations, right? Like, you're going to want to maybe go on a bathroom break. So I'm gonna end it like this, because I know everybody has jobs where they complain about stuff. That's why I highly recommend, well, anybody recommends this, right? When you're a kid, they tell you, go to college, get a degree so you can have a job that you want that pays good money. Yeah, I'm just more so like, man, I need to start my damn career, man. Like, it's definitely a harder job to get into rather than just working the rest of your life. But like I said, you get to a certain point in life where you're just like, man, I'm tired of working for the man. Like, you're always, yeah, you're gonna always be working for somebody. But my whole thing is, if like I said, if I'm gonna be bitching and complaining about a job, it's gonna be something that I chose to do, and it's gonna have meaning to it, right? Working around good people, working for a cause, making the world better, right? But yeah, that was my little TED talk. You know what I'm saying, if it made sense to y'all, it made sense to y'all, and I really hope anybody watching this video has something that they want to do in life and that they're gonna pursue, or they're trying to pursue actively, because working in this matrix, man, from start to finish, going from job to job, it's just like me, like I'm chasing a meaningful life, like I want to be able to be 80 years old and tell myself, like, hey, like, I didn't just work bullshit jobs my whole life, like I did meaningful things with my life, and I did something with myself. But hope you enjoyed my little video. I'm saying I kind of only get on here now to just speak my thoughts and shit. So anyone who did watch the last video, I appreciate it. I hope y'all have a nice day. I'm saying I hope y'all enjoying y'all life. Hope y'all progressing. And I'm gonna get up out of here and catch y'all later.